Today I want to share with you 4 reasons why I think the Pets and Aquatic Warehouse in Lynchburg, Virginia is one of the best fish stores that I have ever been to. This is the kind of store that I think everybody needs to see because it has a lot of important practices that I think other fish stores need to follow, and that's why I think they deserve to be recognized for what they are doing. So sit back and relax and watch this fish store tour, and when you're done, I want you to run to your local fish store and show them this and tell them that this is what you expect in order to get the best experience in fish keeping. So let's go check it out. The Pets and Aquatics Warehouse is located in Lynchburg, Virginia, about an hour and a half away from my house, but it was well worth the trip. This is an amazing store. It doesn't have just fish. It basically has every animal that you might possibly could want to keep as a pet. It has cats and dogs and birds, and it also has a pretty incredible exotic section with a whole bunch of creepy crawlies that I wouldn't necessarily want to keep as a pet, and lots of cool lizards and things like that. But the whole area was very clean and very well kept. Overall, just a very good store. The fish are kept in the basement. There's a staircase in the back of the store, and then there's also an entrance in the parking lot around the back that you can come into the basement directly into the fish area. All right, so the first thing that I thought was amazing was that they had very healthy fish, but like every store, they get fish sent to them that comes in with diseases and things that they can't necessarily control. But they have a lot of practices and things that they seem to follow very closely, just kind of like a culture of overall health for the fish. So they had this awesome bagging station that was set up just for bagging fish, but also to prevent the spread of illness. So they had these containers in the center of the bagging station that had disinfectant in them, and they would use the catch containers, they would put them in there to disinfect them, and then they would put all the nets in there. And what was cool was that I saw that every time that they did catch fish and take fish out of tanks, they religiously went back to that station. They had a system in place and just a culture of cleanliness and a dedication to keeping the fish healthy, which was pretty amazing. The other thing, and probably the reason for that, is that they have a guarantee for their fish where they guarantee that the fish that you get will be healthy. And so they will refund you if there are any health issues. They have some rules associated with it. They ask for you to bring the fish back, a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm not an employee, so I'm not going to go into all the details on that because I'll probably get it wrong. But I feel like the reason why they try to sell healthy fish is because they're betting money on the fact that they're giving you healthy fish. So they will only sell you fish that are healthy. And one example of this, and something that really impressed me, was that there was one fish that I wanted to buy. We went to the tank to catch the fish and to bag it up. And as the worker was catching the fish, she noticed, and we both noticed, that there was some sort of fungal infection on the fish. She immediately shut off the light on the tank, wrote "not for sale" on the tank, and took all of the equipment that she had just used on the tank back to the workstation and then disinfected her hands. And I just was floored by that. They literally will not sell you unhealthy fish. So that is the number one reason why I think that's the best local fish store that I've ever been to, and I'm going to say in the state of Virginia because I've been to quite a few of those, and that is why I will continue to go back there. The second one is that they just had an incredible selection of fish. They had pretty much everything. They had more shrimp than I've ever seen in a fish store. They had tons of Caridina shrimp in every color and variety. They even had a lot of Neocaridina shrimp if you want something a little bit easier. They had 7 different pods, rows, sections, whatever you'll call them, of fish and just lots of different animals that you could buy. And that was really impressive. They had a whole goldfish section. They had cichlids from everywhere that you can get cichlids from. They had lots of live bearers and tetras and even some oddball fish. And talking for a little while with the employees, I found out that they have a lot of different sources for these fish. And they have actually a good supply of wild caught fish, which was pretty impressive. I actually ended up buying some that had just recently come in from the Congo, which is pretty cool, wild caught Congo fish, and lots of other different things that they had as far as saltwater, and not as much corals. I would say they're a little light on the corals, but they still had them as much as you would expect from any local fish store. But the saltwater fish, there were a couple rows of those and they did look pretty healthy. And they also had a lot of plants for sale, live plants if you're into that sort of thing. The next thing was the dry goods section. They had everything that you could possibly need to start an aquarium, everything that you would want or need for that. I've been to a lot of stores that just run out of stock on live or on dry goods, and they just don't have everything in stock all the time. This place had everything from 5-gallon tanks to 180-gallon tanks ready to go out the door, all the substrates, all the lights, tons of rock work and hardscape and wood that you could get, just everything that you could possibly need. And I was really impressed by that. And some of the stuff, I didn't go through it with a fine-tooth comb as far as pricing goes, but I did notice that some of the larger tanks seemed pretty reasonably priced. So I think the pricing was okay. I'm sure you could find better deals somewhere else, but it wasn't overpriced, which is what I noticed. The last thing that I noticed that I just thought was amazing was just the staff. They had very knowledgeable staff. I spent a good amount of time talking to Connor, who was very helpful with everything and just fun to talk to. I'm a big fish nerd. He was a big fish nerd, so it was nice to just go in there and talk to a fellow fish nerd. What was even more impressive is that he is a 3rd generation employee in that place, that his grandfather started the place and it's been in his family since, or it's been part of his family. I'm not sure if he was the owner. I can't remember the exact relationship, but you had a 3rd generation family employee there, which was pretty impressive, and definitely a family that I want to go hang out with, a bunch of fish nerds. So I really enjoyed talking to him, and also even the other employees that I interacted with just seemed to know their stuff and seemed to be very committed to making sure that you got good fish, and I was really impressed by that. So this is a place that if you're looking to visit, I would definitely take a trip to Lynchburg and check it out. If you can bring fish back, that is even better. But if you don't live anywhere near this place, then at least take this video as an example to your local fish store and show them that this is what a good fish store does. This is the culture that every fish store should have. They should be committed to providing healthy fish to the customer and just have that ingrained in their culture. And that is something that I think that this place is doing right. If there are any other practices that you think that you should expect from your local fish store, I would love to hear those down in the comment section. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Fish List out.